Henry Portrait of Serial Killer was made in 1986, the debut movie from John McNaughton based on the accounts of Henry Lee Lucas about his crimes and friendship with Otis Toole. The movie got mixed reviews, had troubles with censors, and met criticism for being exploitative and telling an inaccurate account of what actually happened. It has since gone on to become a cult classic, receiving much praise. It also launched the career of Michael Rooker. This was also his debut movie. A film that claims to be based on true crime, but its gritty feel and graphic violence has made it be cast by many as a horror film. We thought this would be the perfect film for Victoria and Gem from the Criminal Craic podcast to join me, as true crime is their thing. None of us had seen the movie before, and we all watched it. And this is the conversation we had afterwards. Be warned, we don't shy away from the themes of the movie. So this isn't one for the faint-hearted, and I guess this is the first Beyond Graves and Stars trigger warning.
Did you really kill your mama?
I guess I did. You telling me you never killed anybody before?
I ain't saying that.
What do you got in mind, Henry?
What do you think? What do you say, Otis? You want to go grab a beer? If you shoot somebody in the head with a .45 every time you kill somebody, it becomes like your fingerprint, see? But if you strangle one and stab another, and when you cut up, when you don't, then police don't know what to do.
You guys need any help? Do you need some help, or can you do it yourself?
That's when you go for a ride, Otis. It's always the same, and it's always different. Ain't that right?
Sure, it's good to talk to you, Henry. You're not judgmental or anything like that.
Open your eyes, Otis. Look at the world. It's either you or them.
Did I stutter? Give me the $50 and get out!
Don't do that, Otis. She's your sister. Otis, plug it in.
Okay, Vic, Gem, welcome to Beyond Graves and Stars.
Hello.
It's been a long time coming. Hello.
You've got criminal crackers in the house.
We have indeed. And I thought it would be nice for you guys to talk about something a bit lighter and come on this show. And then you picked Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, which wasn't exactly a barrel of laughs, was it?
It was, no. So you've heard the Criminal Craic, and you've heard Gemma say to me on numerous occasions, you're not allowed to pick your cases anymore.
Which is exactly what I was going to say.
Which is exactly what Gemma actually said. Why? Why this film? Why? But, you know.
So you chose it.
Well, I kind of went, let's, if we're going to do a film one, it should be based on true crime because that's what we do. And then that melds the two worlds together. And I kind of just Googled and went, this one keeps coming up and I've not seen it and Gem's not seen it. And then I spoke to you and you said you'd not seen it. And I thought, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't find out until the night we watched it that she was responsible for picking the film. Had I known that, then it might have been a different film.
I didn't intentionally keep that from you. It just was one of those things.
I see. But I thought Gem picked it from how I was told. No. Okay.
No.
So I've now seen it 3 times because of this podcast.
Wow.
And and I can't say I enjoyed it, but I can't say I didn't like it. This is a weird one for me because I thought it was just different and very dark and quite well acted. But I get the impression you guys weren't fans.
I can say I didn't like it and I hated it.
That heavy breathing is in fact George. Hello.
Hello, George can't speak. George is a dog for the listeners who you can hear that though.
She's
George
the
watch it with you?
CEO. Mm-hmm.
She's the CEO
No.
of Criminal Craic. Yeah.
No,
But now
Molly
she-
did.
Yeah. So okay. So do either of you want to quickly run through what little of a plot the film had, or do you want me to do that?
You do that because you're film dude, and we can interject, I think, if that's all right.
As long as
Okay, yeah,
Victoria
well-
doesn't cover the parts that I've already said I'm covering.
I won't do that. Not intentionally.
I'll just do a brief summary. But what I did like, and this fits in with the podcast, is the tagline was "He's not Freddy, he's not Jason, he's real." So that would imply that it is a horror film, but it's a weird one. This
But
basic
also, it's
plot
not
is
real, but we'll get there.
yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, it's not real at all. So basically, Henry arrives in Chicago, where he moves in with a friend, someone he went to prison with, and he basically befriends him and his sister and teaches his friend Otis about being a killer. Is that?
I'm not even sure teaches is the right word, but
yeah,
his friend is there when he does it, and he doesn't seem too fussed about that.
Yeah.
It's
And,
very
yeah,
homoerotic, isn't it? It's very much that Otis followed Henry.
Yeah, and in real life, Otis was a homosexual, and it's rumored that him and Henry were in a relationship. I don't know if you've read that.
Yep.
And scenes were filmed for this that said that, but for whatever reason, probably because it was 1986, they didn't use those scenes. And it's such a strange film because there's no hero in the film. There's no police or anything trying to stop them. And to me, that's what kind of is meant to be a true story, but it didn't feel real because of that. There's no consequences for what they do.
If you have a look at the cover, it says that it's loosely based, and it's when they say loosely based, very, very, very loosely based. So both characters of Otis and Henry were actually based on Henry Lucas and Otis Toole. Both of these men, I've got quite a bit of information written down if you want me to tell you a little bit about them.
Yes, yeah.
So do it, because I actually didn't know the thing about him being gay in real life. Didn't know that.
Okay, so as Andy has said, the plot of the film, there isn't really a plot of the film. I've got a note of that here. And so it starts, Henry turns up, meets Otis. Otis has got a sister, Becky, staying, and she's just come out of a domestic abuse situation by everything that we're told in the movie. And the only thing that I can find that is actually connected is that there are some murders and they have the same names. Because in actual fact, Henry Lucas, so if you've got a Netflix account, which most of us do, you can find a documentary about him, and it's called The Confession Killer.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, so that's Henry
him.
Lucas. Yeah.
Oh, he's a freak.
He is. And in 1983, he was convicted of killing his mother and 2 other people, okay? And while he was in jail, he just started talking and talking and talking to these Texas Rangers, and he actually claimed responsibility for 600 murders. Now, personally, I think what happened is murders were mentioned, and he just went, oh, yeah, sure, yeah, I did those. And he knew enough about them. And chances are he maybe came into contact with people in the jail system that had things to do with some of them. But he got given the death sentence for 11 people, I think I've got noted here. So for 11 of those confessions, he got the death penalty for killing 11, and what was it? The murder of another victim added on, who's now known as Deborah Jackson. So when this all happened and the 600 confessions came out and people knew about that in the public, the Dallas Times Herald went on to do an investigation, and they discovered that actually he couldn't have done even an inkling of these cases because he wasn't in the area, etc., etc. So he also redacted nearly every confession. Well, actually, in the end, all of them except the death of his mother. He took responsibility for that. He never made it to the chair. He died in 2001 of congestive heart failure. So from what I can see, the only thing in the movie for the character of Henry that is the same is possibly his cocky attitude and the way he would act the big guy, like he'd been there and done that and all the next thing, and the fact that in the movie he'd killed his mother. That's the only two things I can see. And then you've got Toole. Now, he's a really interesting character. He's the same. He confessed to a lot of things. Yep.
You're clicking.
I'm clicking.
Something on your sound is clicking.
That's it. I'm hoping that won't record, but we'll see. I don't know. But
carry
on. It'll be fine. Yeah. No. It's when you when you talk. Sometimes there's a bit of a
there's a clicking in the microphone.
Is it because I can speak in tongues and do the clicks? Could it be that?
I don't know.
But it seems to have stopped now.
Doing it now.
Yeah, stop now.
That's really weird.
I'm all shy now. So
it's back again.
So we'll let the listeners complain about that. We'll get feel free to comment on things, and we'll respond with, we don't know. We're not tech whizzes. So.
I know. See, Gemma likes.
Oh, wait a minute.
Good. So I didn't want her to be upset by the sound being clicky.
Yeah.
George, I've just picked
be
and
my
you didn't
drink on the table. I'll try and sit back so I'm not leaning on the table. So then you've got Otis Toole. Now, he's really interesting. He was exactly the same. Him and Henry Lucas met in a soup kitchen, and very quickly they developed a sexual relationship. Otis Toole had came out to his friends and family. Not that he had many friends. But he also confessed to loads and loads of murders and then recanted them all and was just seen as a bit of a fantasist. But one of the cases that he did admit to, although he redacted it later, I'm going to go into really quickly because it's a case that if you're a true crime buff, you'll know about this case. So Adam Walsh was a 6-year-old little boy. And one day he went shopping with his mum to a Sears department store. She had gone looking for a lamp. Now, he was only 6, but there was a toy area in the store. And while she went looking at the lamp, he was probably, you know what kids are like, I don't want to be here. And so she left him in the toy department where there was a video game console. So this was 1980, what did I say, 86? 81.
Almost 86, yeah.
So it was 1981. And so she left him there while she went and had a look for a lamp. And when she came back, he was gone. 16 days later, his severed head was found. His body's never been found. And it turns out that there was a 17-year-old security guard in Sears that day, and he found a group of 4 kids together, one of them being Adam Walsh, and he made them leave the department store. So he ended up outside the store on his own, 6 years old, wasn't with these other kids, and never seen again. So Otis Toole, he said it was him that had done this. Henry Lucas came forward and he said, yeah, he did do it. And I actually had the severed head in my possession for a while. And then that's what Otis Toole got done for. He did take it back, but because it had been backed up by somebody else, obviously it was harder for him to pull it back. So Adam Walsh's dad is John Walsh, and he is an activist, and he's there to advocate for abduction children. Why can't I speak? Child abduction parents. And he's actually the reason for the TV show America's Most Wanted. He was the host and creator of it, and still to this day he helps families that are going through this situation. So I think Otis worked, they did work together, that much is true. They didn't meet the way it played out in the film, and their crimes were not like the ones that are in the film, is I guess what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's really interesting looking into, I mean, it's dark, they're true stories, but it's not a film based on those stories at all. So yeah. I find that a little bit like,
Yeah, also I felt that with the Adam Walsh, you couldn't put that in a film, really, because of his age and how it all happened. It's grim enough film, tough enough watch anyway. If they had put that, it would have definitely got banned. Definitely.
Definitely,
So,
yeah.
But there's certain things that I did like, because obviously he's known as the confessions killer and was a known liar. And throughout the film, especially when he talks about the death of his mother, he gives a different story every time.
Yeah.
So I think that is saying that this bloke was a liar, and it's sort of hinting at that. But it's so strange because when I saw this on the big screen at a festival a few months ago, and with an audience, everyone appeared not to have seen it and were quite shocked. And then when I find out that that's not actually what happened, it made me think, well, is the film that good? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Because what were they trying to achieve if they weren't telling the story and they put all that stuff
Well, they were trying to put bums on seats because they know that people have always had a fascination for true crime. So what we'll do is we'll say that this movie is based on these characters. And then we've already got the ticket price. People have come through the door. People have watched it. Some people enjoy it and some people hate it purely because it's not what it says on the tin.
But you were saying that they cut out the scenes where that they filmed for the relationship between Otis and Henry, but they left in the incest, rape,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but that seemed to be more palatable back then than homosexuality, didn't it? It did. Yeah. Well, if you think
more
now,
palatable
of all
is not the way I would have said that, but okay.
It was. No, I'm not saying I find it that way. I'm saying that it was considered less of a taboo. That's why now we've got all of these paedophiles being outed and being caught, and these famous ones, and your Epstein files and everything, because this is normal in some facets of that community. So that's seen better than falling in love with their same sex.
Yeah, and also doesn't it? When the film was made, they were both still alive, weren't they? So maybe they didn't want that in the film. Maybe they'd said they wanted. Was it a kept secret then, or did all this come out afterwards? I don't know. I'm sure they'd.
I don't think they would have a say. Why would they? So Toole died in. He was 49 when he died. Yeah, 2001. So after that, but I can't, who's going to go into a prison and say, hey, we've written this movie about you. And they say, oh, we don't like it. We don't want you to say we're gay. Who cares? You're in jail for life.
Yeah, but they seemed like, so yeah, especially Henry, though. I mean, they don't use their full names in the film either, do they? They just use their first names.
No, they don't. So, but then they say that it's based on serial killers. So yeah, okay.
Yes. So that's what I mean. So they probably would have done anything. But also, I don't know, maybe the films, the bits they filmed, they might have actually made them more likable if they're in a relationship. So they might have cut out for that reason.
Could be.
Because they're certainly not likable at all. And that's why I found
There's nothing about either character, is there, that you would cling to?
Or the sister.
No. Oh, yeah.
So even when she ended up in a suitcase at the end, spoiler alert, you didn't care.
Yeah, we were kind of. We weren't on her side, really, were we? Because she was just so immediately smitten with this guy who, hello, your brother met in jail.
And he's told you he's killed his mother.
Told you he's killed his mother. That was the introductory conversation. And she goes, oh, I really like Henry.
We did have a long conversation about it, though, because we felt bad about not having empathy for her. Because we know, like, there's statistic after statistic that shows that women will continue to go into the same relationship over and over and over again. But she seemed dazzled by it. She seemed to like it. Like, her eyes lit up when he talked about murder.
And
so
I
maybe
wonder
she
if
was
that's
a Myra
what the
Hindley.
filmmaker was trying to achieve, was that women go from a coercive relationship to another coercive, but it doesn't happen like that. They're not dazzled by it. It's just that they're easy to manipulate and they're vulnerable, and they find themselves in a situation. The way it played out there was kind of ridiculous. She was swooning.
One thing I couldn't actually find out was, did she even exist?
No.
Was there? No, she didn't. No, because we will do spoilers. Henry ends up killing Otis. That didn't happen.
No.
And then he goes off with the sister who didn't exist. And then, you don't see it, but he kills her. And then it ends. One interesting, at the premiere of it, one of the producers, who obviously hadn't seen it till the premiere, shouted out in the cinema, "Where is she?" because they didn't get the bit with the suitcase, which I thought was just obvious. You can see blood on the suitcase, don't you? So,
well, that tells you a lot about why that film's the way it is. If the director doesn't know what day of the week it is.
No, one of the producers.
Sorry.
Yeah, but what I did I found the ending of it really. For the last two scenes were well shot, and it was really eerie because you knew exactly what he was going to do, and it was just like, yeah, he's going to do it, then it's done, then it ends. I just thought that bit played out really well. And it got under my skin, so especially the noise and the music. I thought was really good. But it's just there's no sort of proper beginning, middle, of end to the film really. I just didn't think it flowed, and I thought
it wasn't structured, was it?
No,
it was as if they sat around a table and gone, right, we want to do this, 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 and this, and they'd just gone, okay. There was no discussion about where it would go in the film, how it would link from one scene to the next. It was really, really strange.
Although if you go back to the opening, it was kind of beautiful the way they did the opening. Do you remember? They had the shots, and when they went to all the different people that were murdered as well, it was beautifully shot, and it was really promising at that point.
Yeah.
That was a big worry for them when they released it, because it's straight away you don't see violence, but you see the after effects, the gore, the blood, the nudity, and they really thought that would worry the censors. And in America, I think it was, they were like, this is, exploitation cinema, and you've just done it to shock. And the director was like, yep, that's why we've done it. And it got through the censors, because it was either
some of it was really graphic, wasn't it? Some of it was incredibly, and like you said, that lady with the bottle in her face, but she had a nose crack. So, but you could see all that, and she was just.
She was
that was
same
very
actress
real.
Played.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
So as I said, the same actress played 3 of the dead bodies.
Oh,
so they got, it was a Playboy model or something. And
told you, I recognised those racks, Victoria. I was like, they're the same. I have to say, the most disturbing part, the bit that I would have thought the censors would have worried about, was when they broke into the house, killed the husband, and were sexually assaulting the wife, and then the son came in. I thought that was just to shock. There was no need for it. I felt like I was watching some sort of snuff film at that point. I thought
the bit they're watching on the video.
Watched it because they bought a video camera, didn't they, and recorded it.
Yeah, that was the bit that in the UK they censored on the video, and they'd edited how you saw that, because I think originally it wasn't all seen through the TV. So they changed.
No, it wasn't all seen through the TV on the version we watched. We saw them come into the house,
and we saw the bit, and it was horrendous. It was horrendous. Yeah. And actually, the acting though was fantastic, because it was so believable.
The women,
that woman was absolutely phenomenal in that scene. But it did just it made me want to look away. I did not want to watch that. It was horrible.
It felt like they should have gone down the route more of suggestiveness than anything else, because that scene, outside porn, you're never going to see somebody getting fingered like that in a film. I don't mean to be too graphic, but that's what it was. And it was uncomfortable. And it wasn't like oh my God, I'm seeing sex. It was like, no, I don't need to see. This woman is clearly in pain, clearly distraught. Nobody needs to see that.
No, and that's something I was thinking, because I've just finished watching the Ed Gein story, Monster on Netflix, and I was thinking about all the films that have been made that actually sort of glamorize and glorify all these killers and stuff, and this film didn't do that, not in one sense. And it's almost more acceptable to watch something where they put these beautiful actors and actresses. Even in Hitchcock did it, didn't he? He made things sexy, even though it was really hard, really horrible topics, but he kind of did that Hollywood spin on it. Henry didn't do that. This film did not do that. It was gritty, it was rough. It's just a shame that it had none of that plot line, that
I suppose
structure.
That might be kind of the point. It's a nasty character, and it portrays that in no way. We spoke about not a real killer, but how Freddy Krueger became this likable character. So maybe that was why they were doing this. Like, well, he wasn't a likable character. We want to show what these people are like. But it's not entertainment, is it? that's
the
I suppose,
thing.
like I said, yeah. But it's definitely a Marmite film, because if you've looked up the reviews, some people love it, and if I was to make this film, there'd be a cop after them or something, someone you could relate to, a likable. Yeah, you get Steve Guttenberg to play a policeman and
you
follow
want to
everything
hope
they do.
that there will be an outcome, don't you? You don't want to know that this guy just dumped his last suitcase on the highway and went off,
Yeah.
But I think that's why they use the whole true crime spin, because, well, we can't make it a happy ending. We can't make them get caught at this point because...
It says my internet is unstable. Can you still hear me?
What? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then my internet's going, no.
By putting the true crime label on it, they can get away with that because it's not a story that they've written. But if you look at John McNaughton's other work, if you look at Wild Things, amazing film, and there's people in that are horrible, horrible people, and you do hate them. Even, it doesn't matter that it's Kevin Bacon and Matt Dillon, you hate them. So he's done it there, and he's done some other really good work, and I just think this is trash. I'm in that side.
Yeah. I mean, this was his debut film, very little budget. A lot of it was sort of guerrilla shot as well. And he did say...
The guerrillas were filming it?
As in, they didn't get permission to film.
Oh.
If it was guerrilla... And I love Planet of the Apes, that'd be great. But I think he was
some
sort of...
animals into it, just don't hurt them or them.
What's the little cartoon one? Sorry, Charlie...
Schultz.
What's the monkey in the kids' film called? You know the one who's got the yellow...
Curious George.
Yeah, Curious George. He'd be a great film person.
Yeah.
He was so curious, though. I wonder if he'd get involved.
Andy is totally rethinking having us on.
No. I'm just thinking they should have had a monkey cop follow them about, and it would have been a more entertaining film.
Yes.
Wait, there is a monkey cop in something, because I can see one in my head in a little uniform. I'll come back to you on this.
Yeah, we'll come back. But I've totally lost flow on what we were talking about. Because it was his debut film, and he said in one of the commentaries on the Blu-ray that if he was to have made this now, they'd have shown it to test audiences and they'd reshot things. And I think he just filmed what he could and put it out without thinking. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he thought it might even get banned anyway. So they had this small budget. They filmed not even 90 minutes. There's a few deleted scenes. I think I haven't watched them, but they've got an hour and a half's worth of material and just stuck it out. And I think it was this done well because of the reaction to it, because it was shown at film festivals, people were walking out, that sort of thing. I think for a while it was banned in at least, like I said, put a different cut on video. That's what it was, because they were worried about people because they could rewind it and watch their favourite bits over again, that it might affect certain type of people. So it was very controversial. And unlike something like, say, The Exorcist or even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there's not that, plot, which we keep mentioning. So to me, that's what I think it's for what it's trying to do, and the acting and the way it's shot. I think I'd say it's a good film, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I kind of agree. I didn't enjoy it, is the weird thing, but I can appreciate what they attempted to do. But I just think there are some things that are lacking, even, and it's probably intentional, but things like we never saw most of the murder victims beforehand, so there was nothing to connect us to them. There was nothing to make us feel sorry for them other than they were dead bodies. You know what I mean? I know that sounds weird. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, it doesn't sound weird. It doesn't sound weird, but that was obviously purposeful, so that you, in the end, it's kind of like he goes off into the sunset, and are you supposed to go, great, so happy for him.
I took that as oh God, he's still out there sort of ending, as in that's scary.
Like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because apparently he really was still out there, wasn't he?
Or The Hills Have Eyes, people.
But isn't the Texas Chainsaw Massacre based on Ed Gein anyway?
Loosely, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that TV show Monster isn't. It's meant to be, but a lot of it's incorrect. There's so much of it that's wrong. And again, I won't watch anything like that because we shouldn't be glorifying these people, which is why when we do our podcast... Wait. With our podcast, we try to focus on the victims, not the people that are doing it. Oh,
Yeah, they.
Yeah. We just heard wine.
Have either of you watched it? You've just said you haven't, Gem.
I won't watch it. I refuse to watch it.
I watched the last episode last night, and I just thought they're trying to make us pity him. They're trying to make us feel sorry for this. There's absolutely no way.
But they do that all the time with crimes, because they'll say, oh, this person had a history of abuse and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, well, I really do feel for the younger version of them that went through that until that point where they crossed the line. And it's why they make them attractive, but the amount of women that'll be and men that write to these absolute monsters is that's the only thing they got right. Monsters when they're in jail is ridiculous. There is some sort of fetish for it, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Lots of lonely women in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you said earlier about, you didn't enjoy this film. I'd worry if anyone, enjoyed it for enjoyment's sake.
I was further than not enjoying it. I was angry about it. I hated that Victoria made me watch that movie. It was only because she brought Haribo and Rolitos, the little ham things with cheese in them, and loads of snacks. If she hadn't, our podcast would be over right now.
I did mention to you as well that there is a sequel, and I ordered it and it arrived and it was scratched to bits. So I haven't seen the sequel.
That's because it came to me first, and I scratched all of it.
I was going to say, somebody has actually intercepted that parcel and saved you from it. We should probably talk about Michael Rooker, who played...
Oh, he's amazing.
He is brilliant.
I love him, but not in this.
And the thing is, I was watching it going... That's the bloody dad from Mallrats, and I love Mallrats.
That's the bloody dad.
That's the chocolate-covered pretzel blokey, isn't it?
It's Merle, who you hate at the beginning of Walking Dead.
I just put my bottle where my glass was and my glass where my bottle was. Let's swap them back. I must not drink out of the bottle. Sorry.
Doesn't usually stop you.
I know him for obviously Mallrats, but more recently Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
He's worked with James Gunn a lot. Just looking at, I think he's been in pretty much every James Gunn film. But this was the film.
He's the blue guy with the arrow that summons the arrow.
Yeah.
What's his name in that?
He's got a Nugu or Goonie. What's the Guardians of the Galaxy name? Yondu. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so this is the film that kind of made him. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's because it's unique. That's why people are still talking. That's why it's got a fancy deluxe Blu-ray, which
he was kind of straight out of school, wasn't he? When he not straight out of like.
How long do you go to school in America that he's just out of school?
This was like one of his first films, wasn't it?
It was one. Yeah, it was one of his first. Yeah, and the guy who played Otis, who
Tom Towles.
He's in loads of stuff, but I didn't recognise him at all.
I tell you what, he had a glow up because on his Wikipedia, he looks all right actually.
Does he?
Well, I'm going to go look again in case I've got it wrong.
He had a tiny little wiener though when you saw it flapping about when he was trying to.
So does Tom Hardy apparently, and everybody likes him.
I've put in my notes Otis brother rapey.
Yeah, but I liked that because he was a horrible character as well. That they killed him and he didn't. That was just I did when I first watched it, I didn't expect this character to die, mainly because you'd have if he'd have really murdered him in real life, we'd know that would be like a selling point of the film. And to me, this just didn't. The scene where he gets killed is brutal, but it didn't work for the film for me. It just one of the many things in which didn't feel real. But both of them, I think, were great actors. The sister, I didn't think was that good, if I'm honest.
She was awful.
She looked really familiar.
Henry and Otis were really good. I hated them, and I think we were supposed to.
Yeah,
but
with her, I don't know if you're supposed to.
I think Becky, we were meant to be siding with her, and I just couldn't. I could not get on board with her. I just wanted, the kid in the Babadook.
Oh my God, you talk about this all the time. She hates that guy.
I hated him.
Yeah,
he deserved to die. I was like, yes, just get him.
But he was supposed to be annoying as well, wasn't he?
Was he? Because he was very intentionally annoying.
Yeah,
so, maybe
it's like Joffrey out of Game of Thrones. When he dies, you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But,
poison. Yeah.
I was just going. This is what I was going to. The embarrassing thing is the actress looked really familiar, and I looked her up, and the only thing I'd have seen her in is in one episode of Baywatch. So I'm angry at myself for that's where I recognised her from.
No, because she looks a little
you're
bit.
you're both slow motion running there for the listeners.
I quite
often put the Baywatch.
I
put it. I'll be ready. I quite often put that on in the car just to G myself up. But is it because she looked slightly how Meg Ryan looks in Top Gun, because she had the hair bobble and stuff?
She's got the 80s hair, 1986. Yeah. Maybe that was the haircut of the year.
Maybe.
But well, this was made in 1986, but it didn't get a proper release outside of festivals till 1990, which is bizarre. And I should have looked it up, but I don't know if it's because of the controversy or no one wanted to distribute it.
It was due to the ratings, wasn't it? They couldn't decide what rating it was meant to have. And that's what held it up.
I think it was because of the content of it being so graphic and stuff, and incest and incestuous rape, and talks of, because obviously there was talk about CSA as well. You know, the sister being diddled by her dad and all that stuff. So I think there was just a lot of, that was on the edge.
And that comes from in real life how Otis was treated by his family, wasn't it? It said that he was abused growing up, so I think they've weaved that in through her instead of Otis.
Right.
Although maybe was there not a hint of the dad? Did the dad not go into her room or something? And then there was, so maybe he did the same to Otis in the movie as well, and you're meant to pick up on that. And although the relationship between Henry and Otis wasn't, they cut all those scenes, there was a few bits where we were like, because there'd be like a hand on a leg, or like doing things in front of each other, like kind of sexual stuff, like with women and things like that. And you think, oh, okay, it is pointed to.
It was implied, wasn't it? There was a little.
Yeah. Because Otis gets punched by a bloke who he touches the leg off, doesn't he? So that's showing that he. So yeah, it is there, but there's not much of it. It's hinted, but to be honest, no more hinted than we mentioned Top Gun, Maverick and Iceman in that. It was the 80s, very homoerotic. So
very homoerotic Top Gun. There's
so I think a lot of it.
Theme,
Oh, the new one. Oh, I would be the filling in a sandwich in that film at any day of the week. But also, maybe they didn't want to focus on the homosexuality side because, like, gay people are still not widely accepted everywhere. So maybe it would have been another thing. Oh, look, they go on to be serial killers. You know what I mean? Like people that are not educated enough. So maybe it was that. Maybe it was to not cast
they didn't want it to come across.
We don't need to give them another burden. Let's just
give them a bloody break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but yeah, I mean, it sounds weird, but there's a better film that could be made out of these people. They could have made a film about. It'd be interesting about why he lied, because there's a story that he made all this up to actually cover up other crimes that he'd done, which to me makes no sense. I was reading
that's just him talking and talking and talking, though, isn't it? That's him just taking claim for everything.
Have you seen the documentary, Andy?
No, I've seen the trailer for it, and I'm going to watch it tonight. But weirdly, I didn't. When I was this afternoon, I rewatched the film, and I thought I could watch that, but I didn't want it to sort of. We're mainly talking about the film, and I didn't want that to distract me, even though. Yeah, but now I'm more like with any film I watch based on a true story. As soon as it fits, firstly, if it doesn't end with a real picture of the real people, I get annoyed and have to Google it.
Me too.
But I'd much rather watch a documentary about a true story because it's always twisted, it's always changed, and normally for the sake of storytelling. But God knows what they've done with this one. But you know what I mean? Normally it's fabricated to make it more interesting as a narrative.
Yeah.
But even I'll watch The Conjuring and nearly fall asleep and then Google the real story. And I find that more interesting than the film sometimes.
It's like The Big Short. I watched it recently. And have you seen it with Steve Carell? And he plays, So, in that story, he's distraught because his brother took his own life because of problems with his work. That's not the actual backstory of the original person. It was that they lost their little boy, and potentially the babysitter stroke au pair had accidentally suffocated the baby. Now, they've obviously not put that in the real film, one, in deference to the family, and two, because that would just be too heartbreaking for people to move on from, and it wouldn't connect with the rest of the subject of the film. I was thinking about that when we said about what they were missing out, and in the actual movie that we're talking about. So it could be something like that.
But yeah, I definitely. So I bought the Blu-ray of this, and I was expecting loads of documentaries about the real thing, and there's not. And it's Arrow who released like the best Blu-rays, and there's nothing about the real person. There's 3 different commentaries, all by the director, and I was just like, oh. I thought I'd come into this with all the facts and all, and it's literally what I could find on Wikipedia. And that documentary is 2 hours long. I was like, nah, that will sway me. But I do find the real story very fascinating. And it's weird. It's almost like if this was not based on a real person, I might actually appreciate the film more, because I'm just all the way through it. I'm like, well, that didn't happen. And unless it's being proper arty, and it's just like maybe that's how he saw himself. But it doesn't explain, does it? But maybe that's another thing. Sometimes these films they want us to ask questions. So the fact that, nearly 40 years after it, we're not alone talking about this film. It's still talked about a lot. So maybe it does succeed more than we thought.
And I coming into it, I thought that I kind of got the impression it was going to be strange, but strange in like a David Lynchy sort of way. Like when you watch Blue Velvet and you're a bit uncomfortable. I thought it would be like that, not like this. This was really like I said, there are scenes that I didn't want to even. I just thought it's so unnecessary. Less is more sometimes, like Gemma said, the power of suggestion actually can be so much.
And it leaves you thinking, and I like to leave a film the same way I leave a book. More so a book. I would rather read a book about something than watch a film. But when you go away and your brain's still going and you're thinking, but maybe they did that because of this, and you're trying to find reasons. But when the film finished, I was like, that's done. I don't have to do that again. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And if it's and the fact that, it's not what happened. So you don't actually, I've come away from it wanting to know what actually happened. But normally you look things up to back up what happens in the film. You see what I mean? Whereas this is just like you said earlier, it just basically shares the name. And there are a few things like at the beginning, you see one of the bodies you see them wearing pink socks, and in real life it was known as the orange sock. Yeah. So even that's wrong.
And that wasn't them. That wasn't them.
That's one he took credit for, orange socks.
Yeah, but it wasn't. And they've caught or I think the person's now dead. I think they caught them through DNA and like ancestry and stuff. So it's not even, and that irritates me because that's not their story to tell.
I think there were a number that he took credit for, which were all found to be, there was a truck driver that used to take photos.
Oh,
Do you know who I'm talking about?
But they weren't him.
But they weren't him. He took credit for so much, and you just think, why?
Yeah.
What?
Attention.
But you're right, Andy. They with the characters they have, they could have done, or they could redo it, couldn't they?
No, please don't. Just leave it where it is. Let the documentary speak.
Well, they should redo it with
that good though, because it was a lot of him.
Not, but at least it's true.
Yeah, it was just a lot of him going, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. No, you didn't, liar.
So
you were at home.
So it should be remade with an actual story, a monkey cop, and I don't know, maybe get Eddie Murphy to play all the characters. I don't know.
Yeah,
wait, I'm down with the monkey cop.
Hercules.
I'm gonna look for that monkey cop, monkey in a movie.
Yeah,
Molly.
So, neither of you want to watch the second one, which is a rarity. When I do want to watch it, but I think it's the same director and a different cast. I think it'll be terrible.
I'm
one day I will watch.
Curious to watch it, but
it's one of those that it's forgotten about, and I think it's the same director, but it's just nowhere. Whereas this one is a cult classic, and for them to release a second one, I'm almost intrigued because how bad can it be? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I be? I'll watch the Lorax instead while you two watch that.
Yeah, I don't actually. I think it is a different director, the second one, so I was wrong.
Oh, is it? So has the director
Yeah.
done anything of note since this?
Yeah, I just said
Is it-
Wild Things. He works on Without a Trace.
What's
Some
Without a
other
Trace?
rubbish. Without a Trace, the
He
TV
done.
show.
All right.
He done Mad Dog and Glory with Bill Murray and Robert De Niro as well,
Mhm.
which
All
was
right.
sort of the biggest film. But yeah, not a lot, not as much as you'd think, to be honest. But he might have done. So I'm looking on Letterboxd. He might have done a lot of TV.
Is he still
'cause
alive?
I believe so. Yeah.
Will we try and pin him
Uh,
down and actually ask him what the hell he was playing at?
Yeah. I mean, I could listen to all three of the commentaries on the Blu-ray, but I'm not going to.
Could.
You
listened
said
to
they're
one
all
of them.
different. Is one
Yeah, they're
he's
all
like,
different.
is he like, in one of them, is he like, this is a great film, this happens, the next one he's like, it's kind of lukewarm, doesn't really follow the story, and in the last one he's like, if you thought it was shit, so did I.
There's two of him on his own, and then one with him and one of the producers. But they're like 10 years apart. They recorded, so it must have been one when the DVD came out, one when the reissue came out, and one when the Blu-ray. One of them is really recent. But he seems proud of it, so good for him.
What about Michael Rooker? Has he said anything about it? Is he proud of?
There's no interviews or anything with him, but I think he is proud of it because it made his career. He was and when he was it was a Comic-Con about 5 or 6 years ago. They put their name, what they're known for, and it said Guardians of the Galaxy first, and then this. But he's been he was in like Cliffhanger and stuff like that as well.
Yes, he was in Cliffhanger.
Suicide Squad. Days of Thunder.
Yeah. I've never seen Days of Thunder. I was too young when it was out, and it was just one of those that's just passed me by.
You were too young.
But yeah, I was when it came out.
1990. We were watching things that we really shouldn't have been watching.
Well, my mum and dad
and it was
said
a
I couldn't
PG.
watch it.
It's a PG, wasn't it? It was PG, wasn't it? Days of
Why
Thunder.
wouldn't they let me watch it? That's just me. They wouldn't even let me watch London's Burning, so it's like.
But that was quite harsh.
9:00.
But
bedtime.
I mean, you're saying that he would be quite proud of it because it kind of kick-started his career, but not necessarily, because a lot of people do whatever they have to do to get noticed. So the fact that he got noticed might have been great, but
he might have then wanted to brush it under the carpet.
Oh,
yeah. I think he gives a good performance, so I can't.
He does.
Yeah.
There
so
was
I
a
think
bit that annoyed me when he does the first kill with Otis, when they're in the car, when they've obviously gone and bought some hookers or whatever.
Sex workers, Victoria.
Sorry. It just, I don't know. It just went from 0 to 100 and was all a bit rushed and like, oh, I kill people, by the way, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And the friend just accepted it. Can you imagine?
Yeah, he was just kind of like, oh, okay then.
If one day we were going to a charity shop and all of a sudden I just murdered somebody and said, what do you think? And you're like, oh yeah, great. But then do you always wonder about killer couples? How long have they been in that relationship before they're like cozying down for the night and like, oh, do you want a cup of tea? Yeah, but I'd really like to rape and murder people too. Me too. I've just been waiting for the day you said that. So I guess it does happen.
Yeah.
I can't understand how that relationship ever evolves.
Because evil
then
finds
we're not
evil.
those people. That's why we're not, just very strange.
It is strange, and it's also like there's moments in the film between the action or the deaths where they're just talking, and for an 80-minute film, there's parts of it are actually quite boring. I found. Did you? It doesn't give much backstory on any of them. It is like this is a chapter in a bigger story. But to me, it's just like when it ends. I mean, like I said, I found that end scene eerie, but then I'm just like, it's just told in a really bizarre way that I'm like, or was it just that it was so low budget that they were just filling time in between the set pieces?
Well, we know it was low budget because they filmed the bit that was meant to be their kitchen. We're sure it was like a locker room or a bathroom or something.
It looked like, like a bathroom, didn't it? Yeah, it didn't look good.
It's like, we'll just go into this public lavatory and record our film because it's free.
Which is a good idea, but maybe involve the toilet in the movie. That's all I'm saying. Train spot and shout out.
So, but yeah, I mean, for me, I thought the opening sequence was amazing. It was really well shot. It looked, and it was eerie. With obviously you didn't see the murders, but it looked.
Yeah, was that the bit where
really,
you saw like the floating lady and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I
thought
really
that was well done.
From there, I was like, oh, it sort of peaked something.
So, and then then the final few scenes I like. So it was kind of like a shit sandwich, wasn't it? It was like the but like I said, there's stuff as a fan of film. There's stuff to admire, but it's just not an enjoyable experience, is it? But then I'm weird, but I enjoy the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and a lot of people would be like, "Why?" But that's you get to know the characters in that, and even though it says it's real, it isn't real. And there's a beginning, middle, and end.
I need to rewatch that because I've watched it once and it scared me so much that I've never watched it again. But I think every film that I'm going into where I'm hoping for a proper good scare, I think I spoke about this when we did the Freddy one, and I spoke about us seeing
Weapons.
Huh?
Weapons,
yeah.
Oh.
And we were going into that with such enthusiasm that it was going to scare the bejesus out of us, and then it didn't. And so I'm thinking maybe I do need to go back to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and be really frightened.
I think I might just be massively desensitized because I take in so much information about true crime, like pretty much all the time, that nothing really surprises me anymore.
Your solid exterior.
Exactly.
Well,
I am
for both of you, what was the last film to scare either of you? Can you think?
Oh. Oh, yeah, but I don't like mentioning it. I'm going to charade it to you, okay? But you're not allowed to say the name until I put my fingers in my ears, okay? Actually, I don't think I can charades it. It's got a song in it about eyes. And if you watch Friends... Yeah. Right, I'm going to put my fingers in my ears so you can tell Andy.
All right, it's Jeepers Creepers.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Where'd you get those Jeepers?
Stop, I'm back.
Yeah. But you know the backstory of that film, don't you?
I don't want to know the backstory.
No, don't, because that's a horror film in itself.
What, is that true? That's not a true one. Is it true?
No, but no, Google the director.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Barbara Windsor? That would be weird.
No, but put it this way: the director's in prison. Okay.
Now I'm going to have to go and look.
Oh, God, now she's going to have to do it as an episode now, isn't she?
Because I really got me.
I bought the Blu-ray of it recently and posted I'm watching this film. If anyone wants to talk about it, and everyone's like, "What are you watching that for?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" Then I looked it up and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Is it charges related to the movie or other things?
Other things.
Well.
See, there was. There's a couple that I've watched. Hold on, there was one. Is it Deborah Logan or something?
A movie called Deborah Logan.
There's something of Deborah Logan. The Taking of Deborah Logan.
I don't know that one.
Neither do I.
Oh well, I watched that and that was a bit scary. Until it wasn't. It's one of them.
Okay.
It got me, and then I was like, oh right. I won't give it away because you've not seen it, and you probably should.
What?
But that scared me. And I think I've spoken to Andy before about Blair Witch scared me because my brother told me it was real lost footage.
Everybody thought that to begin with.
They had to say it wasn't when it got a proper release, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I believed it. I believed my brother, and I believed what I was watching, and that scared the shite out of me. Other than that.
Some of the Black Mirrors, I know they're not movies, but some of the Black Mirrors have left me feeling really edgy afterwards, especially the more dystopian-esque they are, the more I'm like, oh.
Yeah. See, I've only seen the first series of that, but for me, because I watch, on average, probably 5 horror films a week, if not more. I just enjoy how they're made, the stories. Nothing scares me, but true crime does. It's
true crime should scare you.
Yeah, and it was like your last episode. Well, the last episode when we come to record this, you warned me, didn't you, not to that it would make me angry, and not to. And I'm glad you did that because I would have literally had to go at everyone I came into contact with that morning if I'd have. But things like that. You
normally listen before work on a Sunday, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we do put trigger warnings in, but we put them in the Spotify blurb. Maybe we should be putting them at the start. But you should be scared of things like that, and more people should be, because a lot of the things that happen, especially with children, I'm not going to say they won't ever happen, but we can make it harder for it to happen if we're more vigilant. People just let their kids go out and even now people just let their kids go out and do anything, and you've got no idea who they're going to come across when they're out and about.
You've got to bear in mind as well, on the Criminal Craic, we're avoiding some stuff that's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is the
But
stuff
also,
that we can. It's bad, it's real.
Well, I like to make sure that there's always a point to me telling a story, whether it's to make a case known because it's unsolved, whether it's to let people know about a missing person, or it's something that has happened that you can avoid by, not letting your 13-year-old child get pissed and go out in the dark,
or you can get
things
support,
like that.
That sort of thing. Because there are some, again, it's that glamorizing and glorifying thing.
And that's not what we're doing.
That do that. There are some true crime podcasts that will just tell you all the goriest stuff because they think that's what people want, and maybe people do, but
some people do, but that's not our target audience.
It's
not what we're here for.
Yeah, it's like coming from sort of my background with horror films. Over the years, so many films, like we mentioned, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, get criticised for glorifying like horror and death, but 99% of them, I truly believe it's good conquering over evil, or a moral child in there somewhere. It's like what fairy tales were, and for me, a good horror film, you'll get something out of it, or you see that struggle and someone overcoming it, or if it has a real dark ending, like I think this film is trying to say, is that it's a warning about things. It's a warning about, like with this, there are horrible people out there who will do things for no reason. But I wouldn't, as I said before, I wouldn't enjoy it. Recently, I said films that scared me. Really got under my skin. A film, have you heard of Faces of Death? Which was banned, and it's done like a documentary, and it's real deaths on film. It's a documentary about death, and I'm sat there at a midnight showing of this 1970s film that I'd heard rumours of and stuff, and you're told that it's all real deaths in the film until the very end, when one of them looks so fake it can't be. But me and my mates were like, it's finished, and and everyone was silent, like, oh my god. And I looked it up, and some of it was real, some of it wasn't, and it fascinated me. But I'm like, what? This isn't entertainment. What are they doing? So it's just a shock, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't get that,
I think with the, with Henry, they kind of removed all the glamour and all the glitter. And I think they were trying to do something raw, and it's not glamorous to be a serial killer. Look, that he's living a really shitty life. But they missed it somehow for me, because it just wasn't entertaining, was it? It wasn't, like, you want that entertainment value. I love Hitchcock, I love Psycho, I love The Birds, I love all that sort of stuff, and they've got all these glamorous people in there, but I love the entertainment value. I don't love the murder aspect. That's not what it's about for me. It's not actually about the crime, it's about the film, whereas this was like, it was just icky.
See, I like a psychological thriller or psychological horror, and this film is labelled as that. And I don't see any of that at all, because they don't go in depth. It's not deep enough. It's just surface level. And so you don't get any of that side. Like films like Identity. I loved Identity. I loved at the end when you saw the reflection in the rearview mirror and you thought, oh, wow. Or that John Cusack one about the room.
The big guy, because he is in so much stuff, and I think he's fantastic.
He is. I can't remember his name, but that one, and also another John Cusack one. Is it room 1408 or something? And he gets stuck in a loop, and that's the sort of thing that I find really chilling. Like blood and gore and slasher and that. No, but then if you think about, like, Halloween does it for me, because all you have to do is hear that tune and you feel that chill going down your spine, and you know something's going to happen.
But Halloween, right? You've got to try this, because I love Halloween. But if you mute it, right? There's a bit where she's walking across the street, and it's just like you have the music on, and it's so eerie. Mute it, and she's just going la 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 la.
But that's the power of it, isn't it? And that's
the music is so powerful in that.
And that's what they could have done in this film. They could have used music in some way to fill some of the space where they had the conversation about nothing, you know, just like a certain little bit of a tune coming along. And Victoria and I joke quite a lot, you know, if they played music in real life, when something was about to go wrong, you're like, oh, that makes me put my feet up, then at least you'd know what to do. And I think if they'd had something like that, because you couldn't even say, I've watched really crap films or TV series before, but I've gone, the soundtrack to that was absolutely banging. I really enjoyed that aspect of it, but there wasn't even that. So maybe we should do the remake.
Yeah. They did say that the director said that they deliberately didn't use guitar music in it, and I'm like, okay, what difference does that make? Because that doesn't, the music just didn't stand out. You're right, and if it had that menacing theme, and there was a bit of sort of like 80s punk music in it, but it wasn't. Yeah, nothing stood out, which is bizarre. But I do want to mention, you mentioned Halloween. Do you remember when I recommended Vic Halloween 3, and you said never speak of it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Halloween 3.
You know what was? I tell you what, there was a few really. There was a few really funny lines in the movie, though. Things like when they went to buy, was it a TV or something like that, and they go to the guy and they're like, "It's really hot in here." He's like, "Yeah, I got a cold." And you're like, "Okay." And I wrote a few down, and I don't know where I've put the book now.
There were things we picked up on when we were watching it. We were just like, "What?"
Oh. Wait a minute.
There's no way they're paying for that crappy telly. They're robbing you, mate. They are robbing you.
I've got a few things about the movie that I enjoyed. One was, you don't often see a pipe in a movie, somebody smoking a pipe, but there was a scene with somebody smoking a pipe. And then there was the line, it's always the same or it's always different. You know, choose your lane and stay in it. And then there was, in that same scene with the guy who said he had a cold, he was like, "You want a 19-inch?" And it was clearly they were talking about
penises.
Yeah. And I that came out of nowhere. Like, there was no suggestive speak at all until that point. And then one of the best bits was when we heard...
Drum roll.
Well, you'll have to do it because I'm doing the speak.
I did it. Did you not hear it?
No, we can't hear that. Was when I'm a huge American Office fan, and there was a "Did I Stutter?" which is like Stanley, you know, "Did I stutter?" I enjoyed that. And I love that the Yorkie / Shih Tzu cross that was in the movie was played by a dog called Dolores. Those were my highlights.
Okay. For me, there was a joke when he picks up the hitchhiker, and then she's got a guitar, and then later on he comes in with the guitar. "Where did you get that guitar from?" He said, "I just picked it up." That was an attempted joke. I picked up on that on the third watch. I haven't watched it properly 3 times. I'm not mental, but I saw it at the cinema. Then I watched it with one of the commentaries, and then I fell asleep to it this afternoon because I'm really hungover. So I've really watched it like one half.
I was going to clap and say I'm proud of you for getting through 3 full. God, my brain's gone. Ignore me.
Words. 3 viewing.
I spent $8.99 on the Blu-ray, so I will watch it again one day.
We did a Arrow subscription, and then and
don't say that on
what we did.
Victoria did this.
We did an Arrow subscription.
Victoria did.
It was on.
And then shut up. Will you stop outing me for things like this?
Arrow's great. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can watch all the Phantasm films on there. You should do that.
You can't if you get the subscription just to cancel it after you've watched the movie, which is what Victoria's trying to say.
I know. I got what she was hinting at.
You picked up what she was putting down.
I was going to say, just because it was an uncomfortable watch at times, and I was going to ask, are there any films that have made you uncomfortable? You've said about being scared in films, but are there any films that have made you really uncomfortable before? And not when you're like watching the scene from Ghost with your parents when they're shagging on a pot.
Not that I can think of offhand, but I'll tell you one thing what made me uncomfortable, actually. There's a Terry Gilliam film called Tideland, and there's a friendship between an adult and a child, and the adult has got I'll get the technical term wrong, but he's like a mental disability, and it made me uncomfortable because you don't know whether it's sexual or not. And I don't. And then weirdly, I watched
question yourself because you're questioning that. Is that one of them?
Yeah, or is it
Like, is
I
this
think it was,
innocent and I'm
yeah,
judging it?
yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I don't, and I think that was all deliberate. That was what the reaction they wanted, but
Right.
it just seemed a bit weird and icky. Stuff like that freaks me out a bit. But other than that, I mean, the last film, weirdly, what got under my skin, and it was probably 15, 20 years ago I watched it, was the first time I saw Psycho 2. I just thought it was, because with that, have you seen Psycho 2?
I've still not seen it. I saw your picture the other day and I was like, oh, I need to watch that.
Yeah, I stuck a photo in the cinema. I shouldn't have done that. But it's him getting out of prison, and all the way through the film, you empathise with him. And he's Norman Bates. He's and that's a well done thing. But it made me think, because in both the original two Psychos, Anthony Perkins is such a likable actor that you do kind of empathise for him, but you shouldn't, and that makes me feel weird.
Yeah,
that's what humans are like, though. That's if you knew a lot of these real life serial killers, if you knew them but didn't know they were a killer, you'd be probably the first person to say there's no way they've done anything like that. Like, you wouldn't be able to believe it.
And how many times does that happen?
Yeah, and then you would find out that there are reasons behind it, things that had happened to them. And again, this is why my thing is, I empathize with the version of them that this happened to up until they cross that line. As soon as they cross that line, there's no empathy anymore.
That's the thing, lots of people, things happen to people. Mm-hmm. Not all those people go on to commit crimes because of those things. Mm-hmm. So you do have free will, And
the fact that you empathize, that's a good thing, because even though they turn out to be awful people, that means that your emotions are kind of working correctly, I guess, because you should empathize with people that have had hardships in their life, and want to make them better. But the other night we watched Super, and I was okay with it initially. I wanted to watch Kick-Ass, but we ended up watching Super, and I love Ray Wilson. I think he's brilliant. But I felt really, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Have you seen it as well, Andy?
I think so. Is that James Gunn? We mentioned him earlier. Is that one of his earlier films?
It's about superheroes, and Ray Wilson becomes like a vigilante, basically. But he has a sidekick in it, and the sidekick is Elliot Page, but when they were Ellen Page. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene where...
It is James Gunn. Sorry.
Yeah. It's a scene where they've spoken a lot about how she's the kiddie sidekick. And then basically she forces him into sex. And so it was a rape scene. Mm. And I thought, obviously this was funny to some people when it first came out, but that's wrong. Because if you saw the same, if Rainn Wilson had been doing that to a younger girl and not the other way around. And I just was like, this is so uncomfortable. This is horrible to watch. And when I look back on a lot of films, I think, no, this is wrong. Like, we were programmed for so long to just accept things, but now because victims are speaking out and we're realizing more and more and more about what's gone wrong in the world and what's happened to people, I just can't watch things in the same way anymore.
Yeah, it's so difficult because obviously times change, but you look back on certain things, you're like, surely that was wrong then. Do you know what I mean? Like, Steve, I just looked at that only came out 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it is an 18, and I remember it coming out, and it was because James Gunn worked with Troma, who had known to deliberately do offensive films. That's kind of their thing. And I think it was the aftermath of that, and I'm like, that's a film I haven't seen for years, and I don't know if I actually want to go back to it for those reasons. But there's another recent one I watched, Crocodile Dundee. It's re-edited now. They've done a different version of it because people are going, oh, it's all the wokes moaning. It's not. It's Paul Hogan himself has said this character's a hero, was supposed to be, and some of the things he does in it are really creepy. Mm-hmm. So he was all for them editing it because he gropes people and stuff, doesn't he? And and I remember when the third one came out, which was 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago.
Is that the one where he stopped traffic?
The third one, I think so. That's the one where it's got Mike Tyson in it. He goes to LA.
Yeah, and he stopped traffic to save a dog, I think, and I like him. I like him for that. Yeah.
But there's some really homophobic stuff in that film, and I remember at the time seeing it and thinking, "Whoa, that's a bit, for a PG then." And an interesting side story: singer Danny Filth had an argument with me once because he reckoned that film didn't exist, and I'm like, "I've just seen it." So there we go.
Be a weird thing to lie about, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You do anyway.
Yeah. What's that?
Say that.
Interestingly,
Danny Filth was from Cradle of Filth. They're an Ipswich band, but they went huge. Like they did Ozfest and all that stuff, didn't they? They're huge.
Interestingly, in the Super, the part of the movie I've just said about Super, in the UK, nobody would have actually been charged with rape in that scenario, because apparently in the UK, a male cannot be raped by a female because the male has to participate, even though it's chemical. Explain that to me.
No, I mean, I mentioned David Lynch before and the creepiness, but his daughter directed as well, and she did a film called Boxing Helena. And I remember that and just going, this is the weirdest thing. It was just so uncomfortable. It had the guy he was the spider expert in Arachnophobia. Oh, he passed away recently, actually. He's the one that went off in the mountains and
he got lost, and he wasn't that far away, was he?
It had him in it, and he basically kept this woman in a box and amputated her legs, and it was just really weird. Really weird. Boxing Helena.
I can picture the cover of it.
Helena. It was treated her like a doll. Very strange.
This is the least light-hearted episode of Beyond Graves and Stars so far. But
you invited true crime podcasters on.
Exactly.
What did you expect?
And to be honest,
wine would be a good idea as well. Whoops.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's good to to have different opinions on the film, because I think two of the three of us at least appreciated it, but we've all come in with different views on it, which is the point of having a discussion. And for especially a film like this, which some people hate, people walked out of it when it was being shown. And it's, I like to see different things. I'm quite surprised that looking at the work the director done after, that it's the same guy. That sort of, when you think, have you seen Mad Dog and Glory?
It's strange, isn't it?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's because that's that's an interesting film, because it's a comedy drama where Bill Murray plays a gangster and Robert De Niro is the likable sort of comedy character in it.
Wow, okay.
And the lead actress is Uma Thurman, and it's one of those films that, if in that film it didn't do very well, but you can see he's a director who wants to do different things, as in that role reversal for the main stars. Yeah. So there's a talent there. Maybe he's just one who's got better ideas than he has execution. I rewatched Wild Things a few years ago, and I still liked it, but there's like 10 twists too many in that film.
It's creepy when you look back.
Maybe he has the wrong team around him. Maybe he's got one of those teams that just go, yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. And nobody's saying, well, actually, we could do it like this.
Maybe he's got ADHD like me, and he has so many ideas in his head. He watches a YouTube video and thinks, I can do that, and just goes ahead and does it.
But he picked a good cast, though, because the acting, apart from Becky, sorry, Becky.
Why are you saying sorry? Her name is Tracy Arnold.
Yeah, the acting I thought was great.
You'll be tagging the actress in the Instagram.
I thought it was really
we thought your film was shit.
I just think the two guys made me completely uncomfortable, and they made me not want to ever be in a room with them, and I think job done well.
And you've managed to not be in a room with them.
And I did like the suitcase that Becky ended up in. It was kind of vintage.
You did, and you knew it was roomy.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't overly like it, because I'd end up buying Henry action figures and stuff, because that's what I do. But just said about tagging action
figures, and True Romance is my favourite film.
I spent too much money on them. I'm not going to say how much they were. But they're
you guys have just probably funny on my end.
Huh? Yeah? You're frozen right now, Gemma.
Keep glitching, both of you.
It all sounds clear, so hopefully we're good. But I just want to mention, we said about tagging the actors on Letterboxd. I'm usually even quite generous with my reviews, and I saw some kids film, I forget what it's called, and I thought it was terrible, and I gave it a 1-star review and slagged off one of the characters, and the voice actor saw the review and commented saying how he thinks that it was a really funny character and he was proud of it, and I was just like, shit. I can't remember what I said back, but I ended up following him and liking some of his posts, and you were
trying to make him feel better.
Yeah, but also it's like, I so rarely, especially online, criticize a film. If I don't like something, I just move on. But the one time I give something a bad review, I'll get that. But saying that, I went to see the new Jennifer Lawrence Twilight Man film today, and I hated that, and I gave that a 1-star review. So I'm hoping that they'll contact me, and then I can get.
You're hoping Jennifer Lawrence will turn up at your house.
Yeah, did have a go, like in does it Jay and Silent Bob, when they there's a bad review and they go and beat them up, don't they?
Yeah.
From what I remember.
No,
yeah, I'm gonna.
People are saying that this is Jennifer Lawrence's best role yet.
My review: as a lover of both films and dogs, I thought this film was shit. 1 star. And then someone has commented.
It's not very nice of you to call Jennifer Lawrence a dog. I think she's lovely. I think we would be good friends.
I wasn't calling her a dog. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a dog in it and it dies.
That's just spoiled it. No need to pay the money to go and see that now. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah. So,
I think Jennifer Lawrence is awesome, and they should just do a film about her being herself, because
doing the sort of things that she comes out with just kill me. She's so funny.
I really like her. I was going to say something I've completely forgotten.
Although I didn't like her hair for a while. I think it was in the 2nd or 3rd Hunger Games. And then Captain Marvel got her hair cut the same. And I was like, what are you people doing?
She should go for Captain the 1986 Meg Ryan. Yeah. In the Avengers film, she had it chopped all off and it grew back.
Horrible,
for the next
wasn't
film.
It? She looked like a city guy. You know, like, remember City Guys? C-I-T-Y, you can, okay. She looked like she should be a trader on the trading floor, but not in her costume.
So, right, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you for, and Vic hates this, your ratings out of 5 for this film.
0.
Silence. 0 out of 5. Not even a half star.
Seriously, 0?
0, because as a true crime buff, it pissed me off that they used the name and then it was nothing like it.
There must have been something you liked, though.
Dolores, the dog, stole the show. Shoot the half a star for Dolores.
And?
It's just a 2 from me. I'm not very good at these ratings because normally, like you, if I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. It was a weird one. It's getting a 2. It's getting a 2 because the acting was exceptional. I hated them. And I like the suitcase.
You know, I will say that when I saw this on the big screen, the next film or the film after next was Martyrs. And if you've ever seen Martyrs, that made this look like a Disney film for gruesomeness. So,
some of the Disney films are pretty gruesome, though, when you think about it.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. Are we, when we watch things like this, when we're not massive horror gore buffs? I mean, you know, I like horror.
But it wasn't particularly horrific, was it? Like, I read one thing that said Daily Entertainment said it's one of the 20th scary movies. Are you joking? I wasn't scared. I was just angry for quite a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's in the is it 101 films list to watch before you die?
Well, I think you might kill yourself after watching it, or midway through just to not watch it.
Yeah, I might do a list of films to watch after you die, and this could be one of them. But yeah, so for me, as a film for how it was made and its budget and stuff, it's a 4-star film. But for enjoyability, it's a 1-star film.
Yeah. See, that's what you made me feel bad with when you said he was low budget and it's his first film, and it kind of leads me.
So the thing is, the amount of people that put it, like, your first everything is supposed to be crap. So do the first. Don't tell everybody about it. I'm the
second child, so
I'm an only child. Can you tell?
But also
second child, so that's why they perfected it second time, didn't they?
But the for all the credit I give him for how he made the film and how it looks and the acting, there are bits in it which are deliberately to shock, which is kind of you don't need it. And this film is an exploitation film. It is supposed to be. It was made to be controversial and not to be a good film.
But it annoys me that
the beginning
and the end were so. You both mentioned the beginning and the end were quite cinematically artistic. Why couldn't he have just incorporated that the whole way through? Why wasn't there more?
Exactly. Wait till you had a bigger budget so you could have it. I would like to know if the film is the way exactly how he wanted it, or does he think it would be better if he'd had a bigger budget. Because if that's the case, then he should have waited. Don't half-arse it. Do it properly.
Yeah, or made a short film on the subject to test the audience. And that's how most filmmakers. I mean, he might have made shorts before this, but he could have made a short story around that character about one of the murders or something. A 20-minute short.
I mean, it said it's loosely, but it's so loose. The names were the same. Is that it? Like,
I mean, it's like, you know, it's loose in the way that Psycho is based on Ed Gein, isn't it? It's, you know, but that all being said, we might be kind of wrong because it is sort of known as a classic. But I think
we're not wrong. We're not wrong because your opinion's your opinion, and the people who were asked if they thought it was a classic who said yes, well, I wasn't asked. So, do you know what I mean? So, no, what I'm saying is it's all subjective, isn't it? It depends who was asked. Maybe that was people who worked on the film that were asked. Of course it's a classic.
This is why Andy invites all kinds of weird and wonderful people on his podcast, is because you have to get a selection of all different people watching these films to have their say.
You need a bigger sample. A varied sample.
Very sample.
Yeah. So one thing I haven't done, I know it on Letterboxd it's got 3.5 out of 5, which is quite high.
It's got a good Rotten Tomatoes score.
The Rotten Tomatoes has given it, I can't see, 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. And since before we started recording, it's gone up on Letterboxd to 3.6.
How are they hearing us?
And 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
When this airs, before it airs, the night before, you should check all these and put a note of it, because I want to know what it goes down to afterwards. Because sometimes people follow the herd, and if everybody around them saying, oh, it's a wonderful film, oh, it's great, oh, it's so arty, it's so wonderful because of the way the sunlight comes in, maybe they'll be like, we can say what we think. And when you said it was a bit of a shit sandwich, yeah, it was, if the bread was shit and the filling was shit. Mic drop.
So you're undecided whether you like it or not then. That's good.
Yeah, I'm on the fence.
But no, I want to thank you both for joining.
Thank you for having us.
This might be the longest episode ever, which Vic holds the longest so far. I haven't seen how long we've done. With the Nightmare on Elm Street was an hour and 27 minutes.
Oh God, Andy, she goes on and on and on, honestly. About nothing to do with it.
But if some point further down the line you want to come back on and let me choose a film, I might be able to think something a bit more lighthearted. So have a think about that.
I'd be up for that. I like classics like Back to the like things like. Does it have to be horror on this?
Horror or sci-fi? Horror sci-fi.
Back to the Future sci-fi. It qualifies.
I love it. And I put Marty McFly up and tagged you both in a post today.
Did you?
I did.
I've not seen it.
Say that we were recording and it was Marty McFly with his. Oh no, he wasn't playing charades. He was doing It's on the Criminal Craic
film.
What about the My Little Pony movie? Great soundtrack.
I'll do Care Bears.
No, they're not My Little Ponies. Right, listen to me. Just look into my eyes, not around my eyes, but into my eyes. You're under. My Little Pony movie. It has the song about sea ponies.
Right.
And it has of Grandel Land.
I'll bear it in mind. I'll definitely watch it. I just don't know if we could.
Have you never seen it?
I don't think so.
Call yourself a movie podcast? Right. Disgusting.
My brother is a 40-something-year-old man, and the My Little Pony movies was one of his go-to late-night movies for when he was
stoned.
I was going to say something else.
Drunk.
Yeah, pretty much. So put it on when you've had a drink one night. You'll see what all the fuss is about.
Okay, so I'll give it a go. I'll probably end up buying a triple disc Blu-ray of it, won't I? And I'll turn into one of them. They call bronies. Is that the?
Yeah. Or you'll hate it and you'll send it to your friend. Me, not her.
I said, to be fair, I seriously doubt what. Or if I do hate it and I review it, and then all the cast have a go at me, that could happen. But,
what you need to do is find actors, actresses, like people that you would really love to meet and just slag off all their movies and wait for them to turn up at the house, and you could be like, tea or coffee.
Yeah, that's true. But I could not bring myself to slag Steve Guttenberg off. I just couldn't do it. Not even
and
for
Amuse Bush? Well, why would you slag him off? Well, we'll slag him off. Get him to come to our house and you can pop round and say hello.
He's so lovely. He's the loveliest man on the planet, I think.
I don't think
Well,
that's true.
It says
you
here
watched
the My
the
Little
video?
Pony movie was made in 2017. Is that right?
No.
And 1984. 84.
Oh, wait.
There's 1984 one. I will track. Why am I? Yeah,
Look,
it looks cool.
Grease 2 is a bit sci-fi. You know that sci-fi bit? We could do that.
Yeah, Grease 2. I haven't watched that for weeks.
Weeks. I'm not allowed to watch it because I just sing all the way through it.
I think let Andy
okay.
pick one and we'll just have to do it.
Yeah, as long as you're not
what-
picking.
I'll try to find something light-hearted and probably sway more sci-fi than horror is what I'll try to do. But yeah, so we better wrap things up. But thank you very much for joining. Do you want to just very quick? Everyone knows, but do you just want to quickly sell your podcast to the listeners?
Go for it, Gem.
Oh God, I'm on the spot. Okay, so hi, I'm Gem, and she's Victoria, and we have a fortnightly podcast called the Criminal Craic. We think we're really funny. We do a lot of research. We do a lot of laughing, but it's never at the victim's expense. It's always at the fucking idiots. Oh my gosh, sorry, I swear a lot on it too. It's always at the idiots that think they can get away with heinous acts, and they can't. And we change the theme tune every week.
And I'll put a link on this episodes to your one. But everyone should be following it anyway. You sent me an ad over, and I put it on more or less every episode we've done.
Thank
So
you.
We're still waiting for your ad.
That is brilliant. Yeah, we'll do an ad for you as well.
Oh yeah, I will get an ad sorted once I sober up.
And I would say we'd invite you onto ours, but I'm not sure how you'd cope.
I think I'd get upset.
Yeah,
we could do something like somebody getting a bag snatched, but it all ends up really happy.
Because there was someone breaks in and then they return the puppy, but they go, "Oh, we really want to fund your puppydom."
Wait, no. What we could do is, have you seen the guy who hijacked a car and there was a baby in the back of it, and he went back with the baby, screamed at the parents, and then stole the car anyway? I feel like he deserved that car.
Yeah. He was like, "How dare you leave a baby in a car?"
He was like, "How very dare you?"
Yes. I'm taking the car. You have the baby. I can't be dealing with that. And
it needs his nappy changed. Sorry, Andy, we're away again. Okay, well, thank you very much for having us. Bye. Victoria.
There you go. I really enjoyed that. Thanks to all of you for listening. Of course, thanks to the Criminal Craic for joining. And yeah, at some point we will get them back. And what have we got coming soon? There is another episode on the Universal Soldier franchise I'm going to be talking about with my guest Benji, parts 2 and 3. I'm going to be doing with Lee Richmond a comparison of the original 70s Wes Craven Hills Have Eyes with its more recent remake. And of course, I'll be doing more of the Critters franchise. I'm going to be working my way through all 5 of those. Lots more to come, even more in the new year. So thank you all for listening. Do subscribe on whatever you're listening to and follow us on the socials as well. Those ratings and reviews really do help. If you want to stick around for another couple of minutes, I'm just going to put on the end for a bit of a laugh some of the outtakes from when I was trying to do the intro to this because I kept stumbling. Anyway, until next time, I've been Andy Martin and this has been Beyond Graves and Stars. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer was made in 1986, the debut movie from John McNaughton based on the accounts of Henry Lee Lucas about the crimes he allegedly committed and friendship with Otis Toole. The movie got mixed reviews, had troubles with the censors, and met criticism for being exploitative. Henry Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer was made in 1986, the debut movie from John McNaughton based on the accounts of Henry Lee Lucas about his crimes and friendship with Otis Toole. The movie got mixed reviews, had troubles with the censors, and met criticism for being exploitative and telling an inaccurate account of what happened. It has since gone on to become a cult classic, receiving much praise. It also launched the career of Michael Rooker. This was his debut movie. A film that claims to be based on true accounts, feels gritty and has graphic violence, and many have seen it as a horror film. We thought this would be the perfect movie for Victoria and Gem from the Criminal Craic True Crime podcast. Why can't I fucking speak? Take 48.